The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, good morning. This is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And of course, you are still with us on our second segment of today, where we discuss anything to do with Southeast Asia, but this time we are going to focus on Malaysia.
Sure.
So we are the media partner of KLEFF, which is at the Eco Film Fest, and of course we bring in speakers or interviewees that will share with us anything to do with environment conservation or sustainability. So Grace, today we have three very different, I would say, environmentalists in a way, in their own field, focusing on three different areas. We have someone who focuses more on fashion, more on organic farming, another one on marine conservation. So welcome all three, Ija, Ghazi, Anthony Tan, and also Fairul Izmal.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for coming here. Well, just before we start our interview, just to give a brief introduction of a CLEF, that this year is 8th Kuala Lumpur Eco Film Festival, and that brings the Green Market. That's the highlight. Green Market, remember these words, and that will be held in the Publica, and this Green Market will have the 22 NGOs and also 34 green business who will be promoting their efforts, and of course the causes, and also the green products and services. So today's interview, like you mentioned, Arlene, we have different people from different industries, and they're all, but one in all, it's all environmental related topics.
And they are all vendors for the Green Market, which will be part of the KLEFF event. And just a bit of introduction of what you guys are doing and what is your focus, your environmental focus. Maybe we can start with Ija.
Hello. First of all, thank you for having us here. Ziboosa is actually a local clothing brand focusing in activewear made from bamboo. So that's our concern, because most people are looking for eco-friendly alternative and whatnot, and you've always heard of organic cotton, but organic cotton, there's always, people are still looking for other alternatives like hemp and whatnot. So bamboo is just another alternative.
Why bamboo? Do we have a lot of bamboo here?
In Malaysia?
In Malaysia?
We do
or
have
you go
a lot.
all the way to China to get in?
But why bamboo particularly? Because we all know bamboo is a sustainable plant. It's a type of grass that grows very, very fast. It doesn't need a lot of water. It doesn't need a lot of pesticides to grow. And it will be the first plant to grow even after like an earthquake or something.
And most of your bamboo, you get it from where?
Currently, for our business, we only import the fabric because we don't have the technology yet. And the type species of bamboo used, we can't grow it here because it's not cold enough.
But you're not competing with the pandas, right?
No.
Because like our
We're
food
not
is
stealing their
finished.
food. We're not stealing their food, don't worry. A lot of people ask us that.
Really?
They're still fat, it's okay.
And why? I mean, of course, bamboo is ecologically friendly compared to cotton in terms of farming it. But why you inspired to have it in fashion?
It actually started when I was studying in Australia. We discovered bamboo clothing over there. So we were like, hey, there's such thing as bamboo clothing. This was years ago. Apparently, it's been around in the world since 2001.
Wow.
Exactly. So I'm like, hey, Malaysia so backdated, man. So we're like, okay, let's explore that. So it's interesting. It's an alternative, it's something new. So we want something different.
And currently, your clothing line focuses more on activewear.
Yes.
Why activewear? Why not
Because we've
evening gown and all
experimented.
that?
Yeah, we've experimented from casual wear to evening to batik even. But because bamboo clothing has a specific
Texture?
series of properties.
I see.
Like it's very soft, cooling, absorbs moisture and whatnot. So we feel that activewear would be the perfect set because it highlights the benefits. Like you can actually feel it when you wear it, when you work out. It absorbs your sweat. It doesn't smell and it keeps you cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We should all go bamboo now.
Exactly.
So, moving on from bamboo ware, I want to highlight something that is also organic, which is organic farming. Of course, Anthony Tan, maybe a bit of introduction about yourself and your organization, CETDEM.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. My name is Anthony Tan Huat. I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Environment, Technology and Development. Malaysia, it's a long name. So we are more commonly known by our acronym CETDEM.
Yeah.
And CETDEM is an environmental non-governmental organization based in SS2 Petaling Jaya, Selangor. Established in 1985 as
Wow, that's a long time ago.
As a not-for-profit company. Our tagline is always promoting sustainable development. The word always is there because you can't do it part-time. We have been providing general public with practical and sustainable solutions for the past 30 years. Our main areas of concern are sustainable development and climate change, and these concerns are featured in what we call our 4 pillars of sustainability, which are transport, energy, organic farming, and water.
But your main focus, at least for now, is organic farming and trying to create
organic farming
awareness.
is one of it.
One of it.
Yeah. The current project that we have is actually called PJ Eco Mobility.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's a collaboration between CETDEM, Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya, and the citizens of Petaling Jaya to create a people-centric eco-mobility recreational park, giving preference to sustainable transport options. This project is centered on Taman Jaya Recreation Park. CETDEM received a US 50,000 co-financing from the GAF Small Grants Program implemented by UNDP.
So tell us more about eco-mobility. Like how would it benefit people from KL or KLites?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of eco-mobility is to have a if I can use the word, a marriage between local mobility and long distance mobility.
I have no idea what it is.
So local mobility would mean simple as walking and cycling. That's localized. Whereas for longer distance would be putting more emphasis on public transport, which means the buses, trains, LRTs, and also taxis.
I see.
Yeah. So
And
carpooling is also
even
part of it.
including Uber. Just to be a bit more tech forward.
Yeah. Yes. So when I give talks on eco-mobility and ask people how many of you walk, half the audience raises their hands. And then I have to point out to them that not all of them are wheelchair enabled, because all of us walk, whether we like it or not. It's just that it depends on whether you walk 50 meters or 1 kilometer.
And the problem that we have right now in terms of our paveway or our transportation system, what is the problem?
Number one, from the feedback that we get from people who we have surveyed, one of the main considerations is safety. If I ask people who are above 40, how many of them cycle to school, most of them say yes. Today I ask them, do you allow your children to cycle to school? Most of them say no.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous because we don't have dedicated bicycle paths. We don't have dedicated pedestrian paths. As far as we're concerned, pedestrians are a endangered species. just like dolphins and dugong.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about the marriage, what kind of kid that you're bearing?
Okay. So the child that CETDEM is carrying, so to speak, is the Taman Jaya Recreational Park. We've been working with the PJ City Council since August last year, and what we are attempting to do is to make the park more bicycle and pedestrian friendly, and also friendly to people who are doing wheeling. Wheeling is a term which I also found out while preparing for this project. If you're on roller skates, you're on skateboard, if you're on a scooter, two-wheel scooter, it's wheeling.
Oh.
Yeah.
You make me feel like I'm old.
I feel ancient. So the the point is to give the park back to people. That's one. And then to allow residents, Taman Jaya Recreational Park is in between an LRT station, a mall, and a residential area, Section 10, Section 9, Section 5. Now, people who want to go to the mall drive. People who want to go to the LRT station drive. What we are pushing for is for people to walk or cycle from the residential area to the mall or the LRT station, park their bicycle there, and take an LRT either to whether they want to go to KL or any other area.
Wow. There's still a long way to go, because I have to admit that I still take the car just to go to the mall. And all that.
But very strangely, when we did a survey of park users and LRT users, there are people coming from Bangsa on the LRT just to use the park.
Wow.
People who come from PJS 5, they take the bus to come to the park, use it for a few hours and go home.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have to get to know more about the park. Where is the park situated again?
It's about 1.5 kilometers away from the Menara MPBJ. You can see it from the Fairul Highway.
I see. That's interesting. So from parks we go to wildlife. I'm talking about marine life.
Let's talk about that.
So Fairul, Izmal, Jamal, Hisne, is it? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Fairul.
Fairul. You're from Marecet, and you also co-founded this organization. Tell us more about this, Marecet.
Thanks for having me here. Yes, I co-founded this with Dr. Louisa Penampulum, and basically Marecet is, as the name suggests, Mare is Latin for ocean, so that's our main focus, which is marine conservation, and CET is a short form for cetacean, which is a scientific grouping of whales.
You didn't borrow the name from CETDEM, right?
No,
they started
no.
They started the acronym first.
Completely different.
Completely.
But so it's a combination of our two focus, the ocean and whales, dolphins, and porpoises. So our research focus is on increasing our understanding of marine mammals here in Malaysia. So we do research on whales, on dolphins, porpoises and dugongs all around Peninsular Malaysia.
See, when you say whales and dolphins and dugong, it sounds like it's not Malaysia. It sounds like maybe somewhere in Southeast Asia, or somewhere in our neighboring Asia Pacific region. But do we still have those animals?
Yes, at last count, which was a couple of years ago, we have, that we know of, about 27 species of these animals in our waters, which is roughly about a third of the total species that can be found in the world.
Oh, wow, a third.
But then again, this is all still relatively new to this country. So yes, a lot of people, even my own family, will go, why are you doing this here?
I mean, a lot of people can question that, right?
Yeah. Why are you doing this here?
Yeah, but we see them all the time. We see them when we do our research in Langkawi, in Taiping, in Klang, in Johor, Melaka, PD. We see them. We see them all, whether it's in the Straits of Malacca or the South China Sea. We definitely have these animals in our waters.
Where do all these animals, the dugong and the dolphins and whales, where do they usually habitate in the sea? Which part of Malaysia?
All over.
All over.
The honest answer is all over, because it depends on the species. We have roughly about 4 coastal species that you can actually see from the beach. So if you go to the beach, look out. Sometimes you get to see bottlenose dolphins, the Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins, Irrawaddy dolphins. All of these animals are classified as either near threatened or endangered globally.
I see.
And if you go further offshore, you go to the islands, then you get to see the more oceanic species. Then you get to see the pilot whales, the pygmy killer whales. You get to see the Brodus whale or Muras whale, the larger species. And if you go further offshore, then you get to see the as big as the fin whale, the blue whales, which are the biggest animals in the world, and even killer whales.
I see. So you have witnessed some of them, I suppose.
Yes, in our waters, yes.
Yeah, that's a
amazing.
cool job.
Yeah.
Can we join your NGO?
And join as volunteers. Yeah, we always take volunteers in our trips. Yeah.
So what do you exactly do in your research project?
So what we do is a lot of people think that we're here to save the whales and save the dolphins.
You're not a tree hugger.
No. Actually, we're not here to save the whales or
Okay.
save the dolphins per se. What we're trying to do is we're using these animals as a bioindicator to help us manage our seas. And a lot of our findings relate back to the shipping industry, the fisheries, coastal development. We talk about when we talk about habitat protection, for example, when we're trying to understand in one of our research projects on dugongs and how they utilize the seagrass habitats, we found out that the seagrass habitats are currently outside of the current marine park boundary.
Sorry, what is seagrass habitat? I have no idea.
So dugongs eat seagrass. They don't eat any other thing. They're basically sea cows, right? So-
Seagrass is not like planktons and all that, right?
No,
Okay.
it
It's
looks
like
like
literally
grass. It's literally
grass,
grass, but
okay.
it lives under the water.
I see.
Seaweed.
Seaweed, is it?
No, it's essentially grass.
Oh, grass.
They're
It's not
a bit
even
different.
seaweed.
It's not even seaweed. Yeah, it looks like seaweed, but it's actually at the bottom. So
Right.
if you dive, you'll actually see a grass feel like what you would see on the surface.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's in the sea, not in the
the sea.
river water.
In the sea.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
And it's not protected. So when we found out, but this seagrass meadow is not protected at all by the marine park. It's outside the marine park boundary and is being destroyed by unsustainable fishing practices. But this is the same habitat that is also providing fish to the fishermen.
Correct.
So there's a disconnect there. So that's what we're trying to reconnect to see that there is
You
habitat
mentioned a
for
lot of
fish.
the fishing industry. Do you focus more? I mean, those that are threatening this habitat, are they more towards those kind of local fishermen, or are they those kind of large-scale fishery industry?
Both.
Oh, okay.
We have the fisheries in Malaysia is have gone to a point where it has become unsustainable. And what we're trying to look at is how do we make it sustainable again. The thing is, a lot of people in KL, even I think last week I was speaking to somebody in an event, and they were saying, well, how does your research affect us in KL? Right? I said, well, if you think about it, there are a lot of subsidies that are supporting the fishery industry, and these subsidies comes back to us as taxpayers. So what we are effectively doing as KL population in KL is paying for the fishermen to go out to fish, to catch fish that's not there. So we are creating an artificial industry just to sustain various pockets of Malaysian population.
And of course, recently we find a lot of news, negative news about the fishing industry in Southeast Asia, like how they use actually slaves from Myanmar and all that to sustain their fishing industry, and the way they and of course on the other hand, there's a lot of pirates as well roaming. Apparently, there's 1/3 of the pirates, or probably half, not even 1/3. Comes from Southeast Asia. I don't know how safe your research work is, but
that's true. It does come with a bit of danger, I guess. Whenever we're out
you
there.
probably see like Captain Jack Sparrow somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally Southeast Asia has always, we were founded by I guess piracy. Not again because of the coastal areas and a lot of pockets of safe haven for pirates to flourish. And yes, we have had close calls before. Our colleagues in various parts of Southeast Asia have been chased by pirates.
Oh,
before.
really?
So it is not a safe. It's not a safe job. It's not a fun job as many people think.
So your opinion sounds very legitimate. It's
You thought I was just quoting Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's an experience, isn't it?
But yeah, it can be quite an experience. I mean, we face quite a bit when we're out there. We're in a small boat. When there's a storm, we're stuck out there and just hope to survive. I mean, we had an incident last year. Our boat capsized.
Oh.
We lost all our equipment. Luckily, nobody got injured, but everybody was safe. But
Okay.
yeah, it's part of it.
It's part of it. Anyway, we'll take one short break. When we return, we'll discuss more about very interesting conservative work that all three of our speakers are talking about.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, good morning. This is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
And of course, you're still with three of our speakers talking about environmental conservation in three different areas altogether. So we have Ija, Ghazi, Fairul, Izmal, and also Anthony Tan. Just earlier on sharing about the courses that they are doing and the kind of stuff that they are currently embarking. And now we are going to focus more on KLAFF as well as the green market, which all three of them are vendors for the green market. Perhaps you can start with Ija first. So, what is your main focus at the green market?
Okay, at the green market, of course, we'll be selling and participating as a business, selling our activewear products made from bamboo. But particularly, Econites has requested all the vendors to create an activity to create more awareness and whatnot. So, to create more awareness, we have saved up a bunch of extra fabrics from the production of our clothing because we do upcycling.
I see. What is upcycling?
Basically redoing something from scrap material. So basically like this headband or something from scrap material. So we have done this before and we received great response. Like people get excited to do this stuff.
Your DIY stuff.
Yeah. So because like if you see the statistics of like tons, 11 million tons of textile being thrown out, and then only probably 2 billion tons.
Really, a lot of these scraps they are not being reused.
No,
at all.
Like if you go look at factories, for example, they'll just chuck it all away. All this.
So you can actually get it for free?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I didn't know about it.
You can just go to factories because they don't want it.
Yeah. Now I want to learn sewing just to get all these free scraps.
It's of no use to them anymore because it's just scrap to them. So you can actually get them for free. And then you can just recreate something else. For example, people create little purses or headbands. As simple as headbands. That's the easiest. Any kid, we did this the first time during a science festival to create awareness about bamboo fabric. So all the kids were just like surrounding our booth like crazy, and we were doing it for free, of course, right? So they was like, okay, I want that and I want that. So that's one of the main activities that we will have at the green market.
You know, you reminded me of, the grandmas in the olden days when they make quill, right? Yeah. Those blankets, and then they will use they will use the collage style of just patch everything together. It's kind of awesome to actually be able to do that, especially with you guys.
And to be honest, those kind of blankets are the most comfortable ones.
Yeah.
It lasts really long.
Used fabric,
Exactly. It's amazing. Yeah. And then you got all those memories and all those moments that you share with your siblings or your parents.
So I think we need to learn sewing and then we go to her booth just to make
for sure.
blankets.
You never need to sew per se. It's just I don't know. I like this one is just braiding.
So you there are different style of just creating fashions out of scraps. Yeah.
So I guess this is another way of educating, especially young kids, with the creativity as well as to learn about all these materials.
And they were like, so where do you get these scraps from? It's
exactly.
Like from extra material that we make from our t-shirts. It's like if you have old t-shirts that usually you'll just chuck out or use as old cloth kind of thing, cut them up. You can do this at home as well. So or turn it into a grocery bag.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's amazing.
So that's how people. I mean, that's where people can go to your booth and experience it.
Yep.
And of course, with Anthony Tan, are you going to bring the whole organic farm, or you're just going to create awareness?
Probably have demonstrations on how to do composting.
What
Home
is that?
composting. Home composting is where you use all your organic leftovers from either your cooking or from your garden, and you make compost. Compost is actually a soil enhancer. Many people confuse compost with a fertilizer.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah.
fertilizer when you
It's
say
not.
that. Yeah.
Fertilizer is usually something that has already gone through a different kind of process. It's fermented. Yeah. So composting is one thing, but what we want to get across to the visitors is that we need to get back to basics and understand the difference between wants and needs. Yeah. I often joke with my wife, I need a 84-inch LED TV. She says, no, that's a want. If you want that, then go and buy a bigger house.
It's like, okay, bye.
So I know it's also maybe a cliche, but Mahatma Gandhi is quoted as saying there is enough for in the world for everyone's need, not for everyone's greed. Yeah. So we want to educate the public that it's all right to be basic. It's all right to go back to a more simpler lifestyle.
So you're promoting the idea of minimalism, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Our main focus will be eco-mobility. One does not need to have 5 cars in a house. I met someone recently who said they have 5 cars in a house, but 4 occupants. One is a spare, which is quite unfortunately it's quite normal in Malaysia. If you look
Wow.
around, when people when developers they promote their new housing projects or even apartments, we have 3 lots for an apartment. We have 2 lots for an apartment. You can buy one more. And the strange thing is those apartments are next to railway stations.
Oh.
That's irony. Yeah, there we
in
go.
Subang Jaya, you have a whole row of apartment blocks, which have half of it is
Car
car
parks.
and it's just next to the KTA railway station.
That's just crazy that
Yeah.
our lifestyle has
Correct.
depend a lot on cars.
Hmm.
As yeah, I mean, and I think I like the fact that you are actually educating the public on the difference between wants and needs. I think especially when you become urbanites, you tend to get seduced with a lot of I guess consumption, right? Higher consumption level on anything that you don't know how to differentiate what actually you really need in your life.
I'll just use an example of clothing.
Sure.
And I've done this in UITM. I've done this with a bunch of primary school kids. Do you own more than 10 pieces of clothing?
You're asking a woman or a man?
Both. Now,
It's different.
do you find it easy to take out the particular shirt or blouse or t-shirt that you want to use on a particular day? Not easy. So what you do is remove whatever you're using on a monthly basis. Remove what you're using maybe once every 6 months. Remove what you haven't worn for the last 2 years, and you'll find you probably have 10 or 15 t-shirts or pieces of clothing there, and it's so easy to take out.
It's not easy being a woman, though. There are clothes that you only wear once a year, which is Hari Raya. You cannot check it out just like
No,
that.
you can actually pack it. What do you call vacuum pack it, keep it so that it uses even less space.
Okay.
Yeah, so less is more. Unfortunately, in Malaysia also, the more space you have, the more garbage you want to put in. So I have to use my wife as a reference. You want to buy something new, get rid of something. So to get in a 40-inch TV, I had to give away a 29-inch TV. So that's one way of controlling the amount of stuff that you have.
That's interesting. And there are several initiatives out there on free markets that you can actually, instead of throwing it away, you can actually give it for free to people who really need it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's need or wants, but who really want it in a way. So on that day itself, you will teach the public on how to what did you suggest?
Do composting.
Do composting, and this composite compost we will be used as what?
You can use it, as I said, as a soil enhancer, and you can add it to your flower pots, your vegetable patch and whatnot. First of all, it's not fertilizer, but it gives back a little bit of nutrient back into the soil. Then you can use organic fertilizer, which may be there's goat base, goat dung, there's chicken dung, and you can
A lot of dung.
a lot of dung. Yesterday I heard someone talking about do you like mangoes? Yeah. Do you know what they put on the mango tree? Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to know what is it.
So this guy was saying you put cow dung in India. They put cow dung above the mango shoot, and then as it grows, it absorbs all these nutrients from the dung, and then that's where you get the sweetness of the mango. And the whole crowd went, I'm not eating mango anymore.
We need to feed cow very well.
Yeah, so it's also this thing about what is enough, not to waste. When you eat, do you eat until you're full or you eat until you're not hungry? And I learned this from a 10-year-old kid. I eat until I'm not hungry, because if you continue eating, you will bloat up. Yeah.
Wow. That's a very interesting.
It's actually more than
advice.
what we need to learn about ecosystem. It's about the moderation, the minimalism, and then the differentiating wants and needs. Yeah, a lot more than that.
And to move on, of course, you are going to share more about. Fairul, you're going to share more about the marine conservation that you guys are doing. That we have the problem about marine life that we are facing in Malaysia. But in terms of activity, is there anything that the public can participate with Marecet?
We've not really decided which activity we want to bring this year to Clef. Usually when we open up a booth, we'll have a few booth games that promote awareness on topics such as sustainable development, sustainable tourism, stuff like that, or just fun games for kids to get them excited about dolphins
Dugong.
and whales and dugongs. We usually will bring a few of the skeletons that we have. So if you are interested in this field, if you want to see a dolphin skeleton up close and personal, then yes, do come to our booth. And we do have exclusive Marecet merchandise
that's
for
great.
sale, and that's basically to help us with our initiatives.
Most of the time, where are you stationed? If it's not in KL, I'm sure you are always in the sea, I suppose.
Due to the nature of the job, we don't really have an office per se. So an office is wherever we are. So today I'm here in Durian ASEAN studio. But we're our team is quite everywhere. Some of our team right now is in Taiping, some of them is in Johor, and some of them is in KL.
That's very interesting. So if we go there at the green market, if we meet you, that means you give us 101 about why we need to care about dolphins and whales and other animals on the sea.
Yeah, well, we're there to answer any question you may have. One of the reasons we set up is to really to empower the public to pursue either a career or as a hobby this field of marine biology, and that stems from both of us growing up knowing that we wanted to get into marine biology, but we didn't receive the sort of guidance or opportunity back then, and we had to go abroad to learn and pursue.
It's a very rare career, right? I mean, especially in Malaysia, if you are talking about R&D sort of career, people don't really think about it much. People usually will pursue career that are conventional, like lawyer, engineer, and all that,
Yeah.
but not so much on the R&D side. So it's interesting that you are pursuing something that I think all of us probably dream about it when we were younger, watching Discovery Channel or National Geography.
Yeah, no, exactly. And a lot of the people we meet have said that, I would have loved to be in your shoes. I said, well, it's never too late. Even if you don't do it as a full-time career, that's fine. You know, you can still participate in various research initiatives, various conservation initiatives, and we're here to answer any questions you might have. I mean, we have volunteers, so from students to lawyers to doctors to, you know,
Everyone.
housewives, house husbands, you know, so
House husband.
yeah, so we everywhere of any ages. So we're just there to share, because we're not usually in one place at any one time. So that'll be one of the best times to catch us.
Oh, that's great. So
I'm sorry, there will be like holy work for us. You know, you go there as a volunteer, and then you also you can enjoy the whole nature around you.
Yep.
So we are towards the end of our show. Maybe some personal message to our listeners about either your organization or about KLEFF.
Okay, from me, it would just be, guys, little steps count. No matter when you're at home, just use less water or, you know, recycle, for God's sakes, please. Just any little amount of effort counts. Of course, for my business, you know, use more bamboo clothing. And then it doesn't last as long as cotton, but at least it feels good on the body. It helps with sensitive skin and whatnot as well.
Yeah. Great.
So I guess from Marecet is what we've been saying to everyone is that we fully believe in the spirit of collaboration, hence why we're in KLEFF, because we believe that we can't do it alone, and everybody has a part to play, and whether they are in whichever industry that they're in, they have the expertise that can help in the conservation world. We conservationists tend to be very tunnel visioned, and we will just look in the perspective of the focus species and the whales and the dolphins. But when we work with economists, when we work with engineers, they come up with various perspectives which we have not ever considered before. So that helps us, and that helps us to achieve the goal.
Oh, that's amazing. Collaboration. And Anthony Tan?
In terms of climate change, one figure which is very important to remember is when you burn 1 liter of petrol or diesel, that releases the equivalent of 2.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Fuel used in private transportation in urban houses in Malaysia makes up about 75% of our energy mix. Electricity is 20% and gas is 5%. I like to end my sharing with two very simple equations which I learned from students in secondary school. Knowledge plus action equals savings. Knowledge minus actions equals wastefulness. So we all know that we have to switch off the light when we leave, but if we think somebody else is going to do it and nobody else does it, then it's going to go to waste.
So good habits goes a long way. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for coming to Durian ASEAN.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.